to save you hours of how to set up, continue to work with LM Studio that's running on a different machine, because my local machine only has 16 gigs of RAM, and I want to use Qwen 3 Coder 32 billion parameter model. And to do that, I'll show you it's working right now. Can you give me a Fibonacci function in C++ that is efficient? Yeah, so this is now talking, but it's pretty fast because it's running on the 5090 that we have on a separate computer. And but how do we get it to work is a lot of effort. So actually, because it's just things don't work if it's the same computer. If you look at the config that it thinks it's loading, it's not actually correct, because you can't actually set it up on the free plans with an IP address from the menu. So you can see that this is here. If you add a chat model, you can select OpenAI or you can select LM Studio. We're using LM Studio right now to run the model, but you can use Olama, LM Studio, or any of these other things to run it locally. You can do this, and once you've done that, there'll be a file generated inside the .continue if you're running in Ubuntu, and if you're running pycharm in Windows, it'll be in a Windows equivalent. And then all you got to do is get rid of this and then go VI or edit whatever editor you prefer to the config. It's typically YAML, and these are the settings that you really need. So you need to make sure that it has autocomplete. You need to make sure the API base is V1. So you put the port of your LM Studio. So we've exposed LM Studio on port 80 on this local machine. Okay, that machine has a 5090 and a V1. It doesn't need the chat and completions, because by default you'll add that and it'll confuse it. For LM Studio, for the provider being LM Studio, you don't need that. The other thing you do need to specify is you need to specify multiline and automatic. Otherwise, with multiline always doesn't seem to work at all with code completion. But now not only chat, you also get code completion. So I can say like H5 pi file, it'll autocomplete with open. So it's starting to autocomplete for me. You can see the autocompletion there. So now it's done three line autocompletion. But basically it does GitHub Copilot for free, plus your code is always within your network. You can also inspect the continue to make sure the continue is not sending anything to it. The continue is a plugin that someone else wrote, but we're trusting that they don't send if you're not logged in. You can log in to continue and then use their models to make it easier. But thanks for listening, and I hope this was useful to you.